Welcome to Preggo Talk, which is powered by WOW Radio. Here we discuss and share our authentic experiences with pregnancy, family, and motherhood. This is a community of support for all mothers, especially new and expecting ones, to share their joys and pains. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on our first official episode of Preggo Talk, powered by WOW Radio. This is Caribgem, your gem to be, and today's show is entitled Pregnancy Discoveries. I'll be discussing how I found out that I was pregnant, and I'll also be sharing some of our listener experiences a little later in the show. So I definitely want you to feel free to follow us on Twitter, and we're at Preggo Talk, and tweet us some of your experiences. And I want you guys to use our hashtag for this episode especially, and that's hashtag, for those of you guys who don't know what the hashtag is, it's the £. So hashtag Preggo Talk, and you can also use hashtag Pregnancy Discoveries. Let's get started. One of the first questions I wanted to answer was, how did I find out that I was pregnant? And I'm posing the same question to you. I found out that I was pregnant back in March 2018. I had been feeling kind of weird. I did notice that my period was late. It was about 2 to 3 weeks late, so that's usually a big sign. And also, oh my goodness, I've noticed this is my 4th pregnancy. As I mentioned in the introductory show, this is my 4th pregnancy. I already have 3 boys. So with my last 3 pregnancies, the signs I noticed was that my partner was so irritating. My partner would irritate the life out of me, more than usual, if you know what I'm saying, ladies. But it was just like every little thing he said or did just blew my mind, and not in the best way. Just so irritating. So with that being said, one day I said, I need to go and buy a pregnancy test. What I usually do is I go and get a double pack. So I have 2 tests just in case one happens to the first one, or I'm not so sure the first one was right. I bought two. So I bought a double pack. I went to CVS and I bought a double pack. I was very nervous before, during, and after the test. So I peed on the stick. I put it down on the bathroom counter and I left the bathroom for, I think you're supposed to wait a couple minutes. I probably left the bathroom for 10 minutes. That's how nervous I was. I did not want to go back in there and look at what the test said. Lo and behold, of course, when I came back after 10 minutes, it said positive. Yes, positive. Now, I can't quite remember, but I think that the test I had, it was 2 lines for you're pregnant and 1 line for you're not pregnant. And I remember, I want to say, 1 line being very solid and then another faint little line. And I know for a while in my mind, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not correct. Or maybe that doesn't mean anything. Maybe I should just be paying attention to the solid line. But of course, you guys know the outcome. I was definitely pregnant. With that being said, my reaction for this pregnancy in particular, I cried. I started crying, and they were not tears of joy for me. I'm sorry to say that, but it's just my reality. I was not happy with the results. I was angry, I was sad, I was confused. It was just a mixture of a lot of emotions. It's because I had a lot happening in my life at that time. My oldest son, he was graduating from 8th grade, going to high school. So just dealing with that whole preparation for that, getting his clothes, making sure schoolwork is done, there's no loose ends, making sure the sign up and registration for high school had been completed. If any of you moms have teenagers, you know what I'm talking about. That whole period of them graduating from 8th grade going to high school, it could be kind of stressful, especially if you're doing a lot of the preparations and stuff on your own. So I had that going on. I myself am also in school. I will soon have my bachelor's in audio production. Yay! But I have homework all the time. I might have homework due 3 days out of the week. And we're talking about audio production. So it's not just about me writing papers. I have to edit and do certain things. So that was a lot for me. I have 2 other kids. They were still in school. The things that I had to prepare and get done for them as well. It was just a lot going on. I felt like I needed some downtime, and that's not what I got. I did not have a chance to get that downtime, especially after all of those things going on. So honestly, sometimes I still feel a little sad and overwhelmed. Now that could be the pregnancy hormones, but for the most part, I feel better. I'm not upset about it anymore. At least I don't think I am. I'm not angry about it anymore. I tend to feel more so overwhelmed than anything as my pregnancy goes along. But one thing that's very, very important is I do have a support system. I have family, friends, and even an online support system, especially this new one, Preggo Talk, where I can talk to other mothers about what's going on with me. And me being able to get that out was very therapeutic for me. Now, I especially talk to my pregnant friends. I have 2 friends that are currently pregnant with me, and being able to talk to them and share with them my feelings, very therapeutic, because my friends who are not pregnant, I want to say they don't necessarily get it. And it's not that they don't have kids or they haven't been pregnant before. It's just that when you're dealing with pregnancy and you have a flood of hormones, you feel all these different types of ways, and it can fluctuate from minutes to hours to days on the way you feel. And I know a lot of my friends are like, she is tripping. Yes, because I am. I'm hormonal. I don't know what else to tell you. I feel the way I feel, and it feels very real because it is. I got over the anger and the sadness through my friends and family, especially my pregnant friends and my online support system. You have tuned into Preggo Talk, powered by Wow Radio. Now, I want to say that with my other pregnancies, I didn't have this reaction. I was definitely shocked when I found out about my other 3 pregnancies along the years, but I can't really say that I was angry or upset or even sad. I was more so shocked, and then I just felt like, okay, gotta figure this out, gotta get myself together and prepare for this baby. That was my usual reaction, but this pregnancy has been very, very different for me, and you guys will find that out with each episode. So why do I think that I reacted that way? There are a couple reasons why I feel that I reacted basically in a negative way when I found out the pregnancy news. It was overwhelming, and I just didn't feel like it was the right time. I just, it's not that I didn't want another child. I had talked to my partner about this before. We talked about it, and we agreed that we would wait until I finished school. So basically, I just felt like it was a rush, or it was being forced on me, because I had this whole grand plan in my head that I would finish school, take a short break, like a 3-month break, go back to school and get my master's, and that would have taken me about a year. And then I would start the planning on having another child. But that's not what happened. That's not real life. Sometimes the things that we plan don't work out that way. That's just how the universe works. Regardless, though, of the way I felt, I do know that children are a blessing. Especially in my situations or my experience in life, my kids have always been a blessing, and they have always forced me, pushed me to elevate myself, to elevate my thinking, to try harder, try new things, to do better for them, especially, and myself, but especially for them. So basically, sometimes the universe has other plans for you, and that's just something you have to accept. So I worked on it, and I've accepted it. It is what it is, and I'm gonna have to deal with it. Now I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I have accepted the fact that I'm pregnant. I'm happier about it. I did find out a few weeks ago I had a gender reveal. I knew what I was having. I'm not one of those people that can go until the baby's born and not know what I'm having. I have to know because I feel like I have to prepare for the baby. So that's just me. I have to know. I know other people who did not want to know, and they were fine with doing that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not one of those people. But I had a gender reveal a few weeks ago, and it was for my family and friends. I just thought that would be a neat way to reveal the baby's gender. And to be honest, I never thought about or noticed anything surrounding gender reveal parties or anything like that. It just is like with this pregnancy, just popped up in my face like, oh, gender reveal, gender reveal, gender reveal. It was just everywhere. Online, I would hear other moms talking about it. Like when I was just out in the store, I would just hear them talking about planning their gender reveal. So I decided, hey, why don't I do it? This would be something different. It was great. It's very great. If I didn't already say that, I'm having a girl. I have 3 boys already, and now I'm having a girl. So this is a very, very, very exciting time in my life, and I hope it is for you too. Now, let's see. Let's get to who did you tell first? Who did you tell that you were pregnant first? So personally, I told my partner and my sister. My partner, of course, because he was there when I was taking a test. So he found out when I did as well. And I want to say after that, I called my sister at work. I'm sure with tears streaming down my face and probably a barely audible voice, I told her that I was pregnant. So it was my partner and my sister. I know I didn't tell any of the other members in my family about my pregnancy, such as like my mom, my other 3 kids, aunts and stuff like that. I didn't tell them for, I want to say, another 2 to 3 weeks after I found out. I didn't want to tell anybody. I just needed time, honestly, to soak the news in. I needed it to settle in, soak in, and to deal with my emotions. Again, I was upset. I was scared. I was confused, angry. I needed time to deal with those emotions because I personally just didn't feel like I should have had that response to the news, because I'm a mom. I've been a mom 3 times before. Why do I feel this way? So I just needed time to deal with my emotions and let that news settle in. So we've covered a lot of questions in this first segment. I talked about how I found out I was pregnant, what my reaction was, how the news even made me feel, and who did I tell first. So what I want to do right now, you're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk more about pregnancy discoveries, and we're even going to have some listener experiences. So I think I'm going to read some of the listener experiences that were submitted via our online survey. I'm going to read some to you. You've tuned into Preggo Talk, powered by Wow Radio, and we'll be right back.
Wow Radio, keeping a firm grip on the community. We handle today's issues for tomorrow's successes. Wow Radio.
I was deep into the minds of a king, man who once was in love. Should I hide behind me?
Welcome back to Preggo Talk, powered by Wow Radio, and today we are talking about the first time we discovered that we were pregnant. So I basically gave you guys an earful of how I discovered that I was pregnant. Right now, I would like to share some of our listener experiences of how they discovered they were pregnant. All right, this first discovery is from Lauren, and she's in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And she told us that with her first child, now, before I get into this, and I'm not going to say it's funny, but it was very interesting because she shared with us the 3 times she discovered she was pregnant. Okay, so I'm just actually going to read the first and third one. So with her first child, Lauren says, and I quote, "I was bartending at a restaurant at the time, and our mats were being washed. I was bringing up a rack of glasses from the back to put away. I took a few steps, and I did a cartoon-like slip. There was water on the floor that I didn't notice, but with the horrible thought that the rack was going to smash into the glasses that were hanging above my head, and I was going to be cut up and make a huge mess. As I was falling, I closed my eyes and guarded my face from the rack and anything else. At that time, I had a vision of an egg in my uterus. After the fall, I was sent to the hospital, and they determined that nothing was broken. They did not do an x-ray. And they gave me pain meds for my arm, which was killing me from breaking the fall. Since I had that vision, I decided against taking the meds until I knew I was not pregnant. Well, I took a pregnancy test later that week, and I was. Ha! So that is Lauren's first pregnancy discovery with her first child. Now let's go to the third child. Lauren says, it was about 4 or 5 weeks after my wedding, and I should have gotten my cycle. It still hadn't come, and I started feeling a little nauseous. I initially bought some nausea meds because I thought maybe it was a bug or something. My husband and I were in the store, and he said, "Why are you getting that? You feel sick or something? You need a pregnancy test." Pretty sure that day I did decide to get a pregnancy test, and it was positive. The baby was created on my wedding night. Oh, thank you, Lauren, for sharing your experiences with us. I've read 2 out of the 3 experiences that Lauren sent us, and I want to thank her for that. Those are pretty interesting experiences. Next up, we have Ryan from Fort Washington, Maryland. Ryan says, I just knew. I remember how I felt at the beginning of my first pregnancy. Then I confirmed it with a pregnancy test. So thank you, Ryan, for letting us know that. And sometimes that is the way it is. You just know. You just know that you're pregnant. You just have this feeling, and it's always good to confirm it. Now we have some other moms here, and now want to read their reactions to finding out they were